live, work, and then die. This is the life of the majority of the people who are in the book The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert Heinlein. The book takes place in the future where a prison colony has been built up on the moon, and over the years the convicts who have been sent to the moon have developed families and created a whole new society where there are fewer convicts because they've now had a family. The ruling class who governs this society from Earth exploits the moon's resources with paying the workers unfairly. The working class of Luna slowly begins to get restless, and they decide to start a small revolution, starting as a resistance movement and ending up creating a new state, and a state that is for the people and by the people. It is for this reason that I decided to explore this through the Marxist lens. The Marxist lens explores class differences and the characters' ways of getting and keeping power, and in particular, the mistreatment of the working class. It also looks into the formation of classless societies and how a societal structure works between proletarian and bourgeoisie. It is for this economic and worker class reasons that I noticed that the moon is a harsh mistress demonstrates that unjust treatment of the working class creates conditions in which the working class will rebel, and it draws on historical comparisons to frame this. The first thing to note is the poor treatment of the working class. The working class has to work in order to survive, and they have to specifically work for the authority. The authority are the bad guys, you could say. They are the current rulers who rule from Earth. The authority mistreats its workers, and this is proven during a meeting towards the start of the book. A ice miner who is sent to the moon as a criminal says to the audience, "The authority pays the same amount for ice now as 30 years ago. Worse yet, the authority script doesn't buy what it used to." This clearly demonstrates that there is really nothing holding back the authority. 30 years and you can watch on Earth human inflation work its way up slowly. Not always in big jumps, it doesn't have to change day by day, but it will continue to go up. And it's really important to note that, because in the 30 years, the authority still pays the exact same amount as it does previously, and the value of the authority money has gone down. I just rephrased that. And throughout the rest of the meeting, you can see the examples continue of this. There's a grain farmer who has doubled his production, tripled his production, and he is in more debt than he was when he started mining, when he started harvesting grain. And this goes really well with the quote from Edmund Burke: "The greater the power, the more dangerous the abuse." This shows and works really well with the book, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, because the authority has all the power. There's nobody controlling them, regulating them on the moon. So they're allowed to do what they want. This is again shown at the end of the meeting when it is abruptly ended by the guards. Now, normally the guards, you don't need to worry about. They have stun pistols or a baton for non-lethal dispersement of the crowd. And it's also important to note that this event was peaceful. Nobody was doing anything that was causing a disturbance. They were just having a meeting. But the guards that showed up that day were equipped with laser weapons and ended up killing several of the members of this committee, or of this meeting. The other thing that this book does is it draws on historical parallels. Most of them are drawn from the American Revolution, as the book is written by an American during the 1960s, when American nationalism was quite popular. The major one is the moon declares its independence on July the 4th. Quote, In Congress assembled July the 4th, 2076. This shows that they specifically chose the state in the book for its historical significance, but even through the book, there's all kinds of references back to the American Revolution or to other revolutions. For the American Revolution, there's the character of Stu de la Joie. Stu de la Joie is a Earthman from France who ends up helping the revolution on the Earth side of things and begins the revolutionary ideals on Earth, allowing them to complete the mission on the moon. He is a French nobleman like Lafayette who has money like Lafayette, and that's just the first parallel. Or the second parallel. The other parallel is how the American Revolution ends up playing out. The American Revolution is people who were fed up with the prices, with the taxation, and wanted to govern themselves. So they fought back the British, who in this case would be Earth. They are a foreign power who no longer represent what the colony now represents. The colony, or America, is now the moon. The other revolution that this book takes heavy prominence from is the French Revolution. The main character, Manny, birthday is Bastille Day, which is a day in France that is commonly referred to as the start of the French Revolution, the first major revolution to overthrow a king. The American Revolution was the first revolution to set up a democracy, but the French Revolution overthrew a king. And the other parallel to the French Revolution is, in the book, the revolutionaries wore a red cap. And in France, during the Revolution, there was something called a Liberty Cap, which was a red cap that the revolutionists would wear. So, in conclusion, there are many more places throughout the book and points throughout the book that we could look at that continue to show the mistreatment of the working class and mistreatment of the lunar people, and we can find more places that have historical references all throughout the book. But I picked the ones because they're the most prominent, but also some of the most important, as it is through these characters and through these events that the rest of the book takes place.